Sign that, please. Thank you. Please, thank you.
Thank you for so many things, both today, over the last several days, and over the course of the last several years. This is a difficult time, and while the grief is overwhelming, our families' hearts are also filled with genuine gratitude. As many of you may or may not know, I am Geetha Howie. I am the daughter. This is my brother Shane, and my father David, my husband Daniel, my aunt and uncle Pushpa and Gamini Virutunga, and Maureen and Jimmy auntie, also from Canada. Many members of our family wanted to be here, but as you may or may not know, we were actually on our way to Sri Lanka for a wedding. So many of our family is actually in transit or already in Sri Lanka. There is a lot of people that are mourning the loss of our mother and are mourning the inability to be here. So all of you being here today substitutes for all the aunts and uncles and relatives that could not. Over the course of the last several days, we have had a parade of sympathy come through our house. We have also had throngs of reporters starting at dawn, ringing our doorbell. Countless cops and detectives and other law enforcement. I have had so many business cards that it's like a baseball card collection. So many phone calls, text, Facebook messages, phone calls right now, and emails. Well, you know how it goes during these times. And while I appreciate the genuine support from our family and our friends we have had to rely on as family, like Saman and Nilvanti, and Sanat and Samantianti, and Gamini and Nilani Gunavardhana, and Monica and Upalianti, who have been tireless and are preparing the house right now, Katta Uncle and Dolly Auntie, and so many more that I just can't remember in this moment. We just want to say thank you. Thank you for being the family that we don't have in this moment. And thank you for the family that is here in this moment. We appreciate all of you. There's also been a bombardment of questions from the media, from well-wishers, and also from morbid curiosity. Please understand how difficult it is for us to answer those questions. We apologize if we have been short, rude, less than kind, or not sticking to Sri Lankan tradition. We know that as Sri Lankans, we keep a vigil at the loved one's home for 7 days. But Shane and I are the next generation of Sri Lankans, as some of you are out there. And this struggle to stick to Sri Lankan traditions, to honor our parents, and the amazing culture that makes us who we are, and at the same time, live in these modern times, is extremely difficult. and more difficult than ever when you haven't had a moment to grieve yourself. So please, accept my sincerest apologies for the shortcomings. We have done our best under the circumstances, and extend a grace to us in this moment of grief. So that now that I have extended my gratitudes and my apologies, I would like to spend some time to focus on the things that really matter today and every day. The wonderful memories of who my mother was and the legacy that she leaves behind, which you are all part of. Geetha was born in Sri Lanka to Kusumalata and Upali de Silva, my grandparents. She had a younger sister, Pushpamala, and brother Varuna. She loved them dearly and mothered them like every big sister does. She was so very proud of how smart they both were and would sometimes neglect her studies to make sure their uniforms were ironed, their books were in order, and they did their work. She also loved her family, all of her cousins in Sri Lanka. She always talked about the fond memories of the mischievous things they did as children. The scoldings they got from their parents, and the conspiracies to commit more mischievous mayhem the next day. She would go along, but always made sure everyone was safe, well-fed, cared for. Madakakulaling hodala. Geetha was married to David, my father. I suppose it's a typical Sri Lankan marriage. They both loved each other dearly. But the way we as Sri Lankans express, it is not as how this Americanized daughter and son can understand. She taught me that marriage is about compromise. It's not always happy, but you never give up. I won't say more than that because I know that I have a skewed perspective as a child, and I still wish to respect both my parents. I know that my father is extremely grief-stricken, and so I will ask for all of you in this moment because I am not capable to support him. Imagine having the person that you always relied on be gone, and do for him what you would want done for yourselves. Geetha is my mother. I keep thinking that she will wake up any minute and start scolding us to get on with it and stop lingering around. I blink, and I think she might blink also, but this thing that has happened in the blink of an eye lets me know otherwise. She's the voice that is in my head when I try on clothes in a dressing room. That looks terrible. Look at that seam and how it lays. This is better. It's more for a younger person. Why do you always dress so old? Did you wear a girdle? Yes, I wore a girdle. It's not plastic surgery. These are the conversations that are in my head. She's the voice that prevents me from exploding in rage. She is the voice that reminds me to love more than loathe. She's the voice that reminds me that this world is cruel and full of sorrow. But we have to look forward to this wedding, to the moments of joy that are so brief that we have to hang on to those. She was so looking forward to this wedding. She was really happy with her sari, which if you know my mom, that's so rare. She was happy with her shoes, which we spent an entire day at an outlet picking out, and she ended up getting 2 pairs of. She was happy with her jewelry that she had just gone to return to the safety deposit box and was coming home from. But not so much with her manicure. If you know my Amma, you know this was her. She was never happy with something. It drove me crazy because I thought she was being a perfectionist and vain. But really, it's because she was thinking about how she represented others and the way that she represented herself. Was she going to make her sister's day sparkle? Would she be a good mother? Would she be a good wife? Would she be a good daughter? I always told her that it wasn't the things that she did that made her valuable to me. I'm not sure she believed me. My mother had 2 love languages, acts of service and words of scolding. Baninawa. Tata would say, Gantare gahanoa, or she's playing the gong, as a joke. We would sing, Me gantare. When she started scolding, she would start with my dad and end with the cats. I can't tell you how many times it went the other way and how many times we were yelled at because of the stupid cats. We got our first cat in the US because of my brother Shane. Who would ever think a kid would want a black cat? But this kid, hey. When she found out she was pregnant and that it was a boy, she was so happy. She always said that someday when she was gone, she was happy that we would be together to take care of each other. Shane was born at St. Vincent's Hospital, the now Richmond University Hospital, the same place where she breathed her last breath. She loved Shane incredibly, but showed it in a Sri Lankan way. Americans would say it was dysfunctional. We would say it was Amma. It wasn't offensive to us. It's just how we know her. See, I'm built tough. I wish I wasn't, but I am my mother's daughter. But you can motivate me by scolding and comparison. But my brother, my mom would always lament, is more like her. He pretends he's tough, but he's very sensitive. My mother and my brother will get quiet or fight back, but really, they are feeling a spectrum of emotions that I can't even begin to explain. Amma was always so very proud of Shane. She was delighted that Shane had gotten some of her good traits, artistic abilities, and good looks. Not the hobby mukama. She always used to say when she looked at Evangeline and me, hobby pocket katai mukkamai, you know. She didn't like tattoos and didn't want to encourage it, but she was secretly impressed at how the tattoos had come out. She was so happy that Shane had finally gotten a real job and was becoming an adult. I'm so sorry that this is how you have to really become an adult. She loved Danny and his entire family. She giggled every time Dan would come and give her a hug. She just didn't know how to respond to physical expressions of affection. But when it came to her grandkids, Binithi and Evangeline, she couldn't stop hugging and kissing them. She loved the two of them more than words. Until Evangeline came along, she had quietly resolved that Binithi would be her only grandchild. See, Binithi is not biologically related to us, but family is not always biological. She worried about Binithi going out in the cold, the clothes she would wear, not putting mom against daughter, but wishing mom and dad would ease up you two. They talked on the phone all the time. When Evangeline came along, nothing changed. Her heart was just more full. She smiled more, laughed louder, and worked even more tirelessly to clean and cook and care for Evangeline. She gave Evangeline her first bath, took her first pictures where Evangeline pooped all over, got her ears pierced, made her first birthday cake, bought her first bike, and got her so many dresses. She wanted to sew so many things, but never got a chance to. Evangeline loves her Archie. When she saw the beautiful picture collages that Pramudika and her husband had made, Evangeline said, "That's my Archie, and I love her." Evangeline hasn't asked me why Archie is not home, because she knows something is up. Normally every night, Archie is the first one that she prays for. Archie is the one she wants to go see. I forget what it was that she did on the way here, but I told her that Archie would scold her for whatever this mischievous thing that she did was. And Evangeline, who knows how well she had her Archie wrapped around her finger, said, "She won't yell. She's a good Archie." And that she was. She was a good achi and a good friend. A beautiful woman inside and out, a woman who looked younger than her age, and would have been happy to know that one of the detectives thought she was my sister, even after everything had happened. When I turned 21, she told me jokingly, "I must disown you." People will do math and know how old I am. So now you're my sister. And like sisters, we shared closets. Today, I'm wearing her skirt because I didn't prepare for a funeral. It's not for vanity's sake that we have chosen to keep this a closed casket ceremony, but rather to honor my mother's wishes, that she always be remembered as the beautiful, shining, caring woman that she was. As you leave here today, please know that we are truly grateful for everything you have done to our family, for all of the co-workers, all of the people that have traveled from near and far, and for so many people that I don't even have the words to thank. We are grateful. Please also keep Amma's legacy alive, a legacy of sacrificial love. Care for her family as she will no longer be able to care for them. You know how hard she worked to provide. Go home and care for your families. Delight in your grandchildren and do the things you put off for tomorrow today. Both the Buddha Dharma and the gospel tell us tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Let go of the worldly things that bind you with hate, shame, anxiety, and so forth. My Amma is finally free. She does not have to worry about the things that were less than perfect. Amma used to tell me this Sinhala parable when I was a child about a man who had 2 wives. At his funeral, one woman was wailing loudly and dramatically, and the other woman was sad and quiet in a corner. Those that came to the funeral questioned the quiet woman, thinking she must not have cared too much. But as it turned out, she had been the one to care for this man for most of his life. She was the woman that had arranged everything, and so she was at peace because she had done for him while he was alive. I thank you all for doing for her while she was alive. The other was mourning because of all the regret that she had for all the things she had not done for him. And it was with her regrets that made her lamentation so profound. We all mourn in our own way. There is no judgment. But this was the thought pattern of my mother. This is what my mother has taught my brother and I. So forgive us if we don't express it as Hollywood should tell you it should, or Sri Lankan Hollywood, Shollywood, I don't know, would tell you. We know that Amma is at peace. Shane and I have done to the best of our abilities what we can for her while she was alive and in her passing. We have tried to adhere to traditions as best as we can, but traditions will not bring back my mom. Sorry for any shortcomings. Thank you for your support and love. And thank you for anything I have been remiss, and sorry for anything I have been remiss. Yeah. Danny is going to say a few words. Afterwards, the Buddhist priest will be coming in and will be giving some last rites, pansakule. And then afterwards, we are going to the crematorium. It was always my mom's wish that everything happened quickly. She always used to say, "Matapuska ka ina denne pa." In other words, don't let mold gather on me. Just her sense of humor. After the cremation, you are all welcome to come have a meal at our house, what we traditionally call malabat. Several of our family members or friends are preparing that for us at our home. Is there anything else you needed to say?
The home is 54 Beeman Avenue.
Thank you all for everyone who has done the vigil. Also, please understand it's a little hard to be there right now.
Thank you all for coming. These are my memories of Geetha Howie. I'm Daniel Fazina, her son-in-law. We truly appreciate the support of our friends, family, and community during this difficult time. And I just want to say that, first of all, I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to have known this beautiful, remarkable woman for the last 16 years. And it's my honor to be able to share some memories and observations about her. My beloved Amma. The first time Sahani brought me home to meet her parents, I was very nervous. Entering their home for the first time was like stepping into a new world. I remember that everything looked and felt foreign to me and unfamiliar. I was encountering a different culture, a different language, different foods, traditions, and belief systems. There were different smells, like curry and spices, flowers I was not used to, and the decorations around the house even, the Buddha statues and the Sri Lankan elephant artwork on the walls. I'm ashamed to admit, when Sahani first told me that her family was from Sri Lanka, I was not even sure where that was, or if I had even heard of that country before. I was completely ignorant. I think now I'm less ignorant, if only slightly. Despite all these differences, David and Geetha welcomed me into their home warmly and did their best to make me feel comfortable. Geetha prepared a wonderful Sri Lankan meal for me with traditional Sri Lankan food, which was absolutely delicious, so flavorful and tasty. And they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, all I can say is that she had me at kiribat. From my non-Sri Lankan friends, kiribat is a delicious way of preparing rice with coconut milk. Anyway, after one taste, I was smitten. She was an amazing cook, and I told her so from day one. And from that day on, our relationship began to grow. And Sahani, half-jokingly, says the reason she loved me so much is that I complimented her on her cooking. Geetha was the type of person who showed love through acts of service to her family and friends. She took joy in doing practical things for her loved ones, like cooking meals, cleaning house, and taking care of the kids. Whenever I had a button fall off a shirt or tear in my clothes, Geetha would sew it up for me, and I marveled at her skill with the sewing machine and her ability to create even beautiful clothing. She did this often for people for special occasions like weddings and birthday parties. When her neighbor broke her leg, she cooked a week's worth of meals and brought them over to her. That was the kind of person she was, someone who gave sacrificially to others. Amma was a woman of many talents, artistic abilities, and admirable qualities. There are so many things I loved about her. Like, for example, the way she would giggle like a schoolgirl when I would greet her with a big hug and a kiss. One of my favorite things about her is how deeply she adored and loved our 3-year-old daughter, Evangeline Hope, her one and only grandchild. Evangeline and her Achi, her grandma in Sinhala, were inseparable, and Geetha doted on her joyfully. When they were together, Geeta's beaming smile would stretch from ear to ear and would light up the room. My heart would swell with joy and gratitude and happiness when I would see them together playing, reading a story, saying bedtime prayers, or snuggling each other as they settled in for bed. absolutely loved it when they would get together, and so did they. Shortly after Evangeline was born, which was 9 years after my wife Sahani and I were married, I remember Geetha cradling our sleeping newborn miracle baby in her arms, looking at her lovingly, and whispering softly to her, "Most grandparents have to wait 9 months to meet their grandchild, but we waited 9 years for you. What took you so long to get here?" That beautiful memory will live in my mind forever. I feel truly blessed to have had Geetha for my mother-in-law. I will cherish the 16 years I had the privilege to spend with her and get to know her. Most of all, I will forever be grateful to her for the most precious gift that she gave to me. My amazing bride, Sahani. She is the best wife I could have ever asked for. And Geetha did a wonderful job in raising such an amazing woman. To everyone here today, I encourage you to cherish your loved ones. Hug them and tell them that you love them. Find it within your heart to swallow your pride and apologize when you're wrong. And be ready and willing to give and receive forgiveness. Do not take anything for granted. When you speak to someone, treat that moment as if it were the last time you'll ever see them, because it very well may be. What do you want your last words to them to be? Life is fragile and precious, and tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Thank you, Amma, for your love and caring for me and my family. You are loved dearly and will be missed deeply. May God rest your soul and grant you eternal peace. Thank you.
Sandal. Piano kan?
नमस्कार කියන්න පුළුවන්
Apologize, 1 second. All right, you can stay there. Just hold 1 second. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't want to reach over. You can sit right back there.
Sanghan saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adinādānā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Suvāmēraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Saranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammam sādhukam surakkitaṃ kattvā pramādena sampādetavam. Yeah. පූජනීය මහා සංඝරත්නයන් අවසර සංවේග ප්‍රාප්ත නිකුත් කියන්නේ උදාහරණ කවුරුත් මේ අවස්ථාවේ තාම සංවේගයට පත් වූ අවස්ථාවක් අදහන ආගමට අනුව කළ යුතු යුතුයකම ඥාති ධර්මයේ ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ කිරීම වශයෙන් පූජනීය මහා සංඝරත්නයේ ස්ථානයේ ප්‍රගම කරවගෙන තිසරණ සහිත පංචශීලයේ පිහිටලා මේ සූදානම මීට දින කීපයකට හේදී හදිසියේ අපාතරින් කියවුණු ගීතා නුනාම මහත්මිය වෙනුවෙන් මහත්මාත් ඒ වගේම මාතෘ දරුවන් ඒ වගේම කල්යාණ හිතමිත ඥාති පිරිස මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අප අතහැර සංවේගයට පත් කරමින් පරලෝකපත් විතානෝනා පත්ති වෙනුවෙන් කළ යුතු යුතුයකම ඥාති ධර්මයේ ඒ ආගමනුකූලව පිළිවිස්ත සිද්ධ කරලා පරලෝක ජීවිතේ වාසනාවන්ත කර දෙන පින්කමක් සිද්ධ කිරීම. මේ වස්ත්‍රයේ මතක වස්ත්‍රයක් ඇටියට ආර්ය මහා සංඝ රත්නයට පූජා කිරීම සයිබලා. මේ ජීවිතයේ ස්වභාවය මේකයි කියන එක අපට කාටත් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. ජීවිතං ව්‍යාධි කාලෝච දේහ නික්කේපනං ගති පංචේතේ ජීව ලෝකස්මින් අනිමිත්තාන ඥාය. තථාගත ලෝතුරා බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ අපට පෙන්වූ කළ අචින්ති තම්පි භවති චින්ති තම්පි විනස්ස නොසිතපු දෙයක් සිදු වෙනවා හිතාගෙන ඉන්න දේවල් ඒ ආකාරයට සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ජීවත් වෙන ජීවිතය මොන ආකාරයෙන් සිදු වෙනවද කියන එකවත් අපේ ජීවිතයේ උප්පත්ති ලැබුවෙන් පස්සේ හවල් සනීපයකින් අපි පෙළෙනවා කියලා නියම කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නෑ. ඒ වගේම උපන් අපිට කොච්චර කාලයක් අපි ජීවත් වෙනවද කියන එකත් ස්ථිර වශයෙන් කියන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නෑ. ජීවිතං ව්‍යාධි කාලෝච්ච දේහ නික්කේපන. ඒ වගේ මේ ශරීරයේ බැහැර කරන්න අපි ඉපදින්නේ තැනක ජීවත් වෙන්නේ තව තැනක මේ ශරීරය ඉවත් කරන්නේ තව තැනක ඒ වගේම මේ පරලෝක ගිහිල්ලා කොයි තැනක උප්පත්ති ලැබෙනවද කියලා නිශ්චිත වශයෙන් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන්කම. නියම කරන්න බැරි කාරණා තමයි අපේ ජීවිතයක නිතරම පවතින. ඒ නිසා අපි ජීවත් වෙන කාල සීමාව තුළදී මේ කටයුතු පිළිබඳ මේ ක්‍රියාවන් පිළිබඳ හොඳ මනා අවබෝධයකින් කටයුතු කිරීමයි තථාගත ලෝතුරා බුදුජානන් වහන්සේ අපට පෙන්වූ කලේ. මේ ස්වභාවයෙන් නිතරම සිහිපත් කරන්නට ඒ අනුව කටයුතු කිරීම ඉතාම වැදගත්. අපි මේ ස්ථිරයි කියන මේ විදිහට සිදු වෙන්නට ඕනයි කියන කිසි දෙයක් ඒ ආකාරයෙන් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන සිතවිල්ල අපේ සිත් තුළ ඇති කරගෙන අපට කටයුතු කරන්න තමයි සිදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා දයාබර ස්වාමී පුරුෂානන් හැටියට ආදරණීය දරුවන් හැටියට ඥාති කල්යාණ හිත මිත්‍ර පිරිස ඒ බලාපොරොත්තු තබාගෙන සියලු දේවල් පිළිගමලා එතුමියගේ ගමන එතුමියට යන්න සිද්ධ වුණා. ඒක කොහොම සිදු වුණත් තමන් ගෙනෙන දායක ප්‍රමාණය වින්දනය කරලා අවසන් වෙනකොට ඒ ගමන සූදානම් නිසා ඥාතියින් හැටියට අපට කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ සූදානම් කරගත් අපට වස්ත්‍රේ සිල්වත්ව ඉඳගෙන සිල්ලුතුන් වහන්සේලාගේ අනන්ත ගුණ සිහිපත් කරගෙන සංඝගත දක්ෂිනාවක් හැටියට මේ මතක වස්ත්‍රයක් සාංගිකව පූජා කරමු. එයින් ජනිත වන්නා වූ සීල පුණ්‍ය ශක්තිය පුණ්‍ය බලයේ එතුමියගේ ප්‍රාණකාරියට අත්පත් වේවා. එතුමිය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන බුද්ධිතුන් නිවන් සම්පත් සාක්ෂාත් කරගනිත්වා ඒ ප්‍රාර්ථනාව ඇති කරගෙන මේවා කියලා මේ වස්ත්‍රයේ සාංගිකව පූජා කරමු. කාලකතානං මීඤාතිනං පුඤ්ඤත්තාය සග්ගත්තාය නිබ්බානත්තාය ඉමං මතක වත්තං වික්ඛු සංඝස්ස දේම කාලකතානං මීඤාතිනං
Bhikkhu Sangha Sudema Kalakatana
Minyatina
Minyatina
Punyathaya Saggataya Nibbanathaya Imang Matakavattam Bhikkhu Sanghassa Dema.
Aniccavat sankhara uppadavaya dhammino uppajjitva niyujjhanti te samupasamo sukho aniccavat sankhara uppadavaya dhammino uppajjitva nirujjhanti te samupasamo sukho aniccavat sankhara uppadavaya dhammina uppajjitva nirujjhanti te samupasamo sukho. Honorable Nayaka Thera and other monks, dear friends of Dhamma, Mr. David Howie and family members, and other relatives and friends are here to pay last respect to departed Geetha Howie. You are suffering with the loss of mother, wife, mother-in-law, grandmother, and also a relative, a friend, for some reason we don't know why she has to depart in this way. So we all feel sorry for her. But in this occasion we are helpless. We cannot do anything for her, to keep her. Our life is uncertain. When we born to this world, we come with the death. It always follows us. We don't know when the death comes and grabs our life. Whenever the time comes, death will come to us. And nobody can avoid that. even the great persons who were in this world, even the Buddha and even his disciple, all departed from us. And all other powerful kings and other persons, they also face the same thing, but without knowing. We plan different things, but when the death comes, we have to depart, leaving all those plans here. So therefore, in this moment, think about the teaching of the Buddha, and by realizing this, the nature of the world, the truth of the world, we need to understand this reality. As we mentioned, anicca vata sankhara, all the conditional things, animate and inanimate, living and other things, all supposed to change. They are anicca, they are not certain. Upada vaya dhammino, we see they come to this world, born to this world, and next thing is they all subject to depart. Uppajjitva niruddhanti tesang upasamo sutho. Whoever, if someone free from this, the nature of birth and dying, that is a peaceful thing. It is indeed a happiness. That is what the Buddha mentioned. So, realizing this truth, we have to say her goodbye. We know you all, we don't meet her again. She did her responsibility as a beloved wife, as a beloved mother, mother-in-law, and she was always, she used to come to our temple on Wednesdays to participate the meditation program. So I think she has understand the nature of this world. She has acquired merit and wholesome to her life. But according to our tradition, in this moment, you offered this white cloth to Mahasangha, wishing her peace and happiness. So again, by observing precept and also by offering this white cloth to Mahasangha, you acquire merit. So let's share this merit with Geetha Howie, wherever she may she rejoice this wholesomeness, may she be well, happy, peaceful, and may she attain ultimate peace, nibbanic happiness. So having this aspiration now. Let us dedicate merit to her while pouring water. So all you can join reciting Idam me jati nambo. හැමදෙනාම කියන්නේ එහෙමනම් ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනම් හෝතු සුඛිතා වന്തു ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනම් හෝතු සුඛිතා ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනම් යතා වාරේ වහා පුරා පරිපූර්ණන්ති සාගරං ඒවමේවයිතෝ දින්නම් පේතානං උපකප්පති උන්නමේ උදකං වට්ටං යතා නින්නම් පවත්තති ඒවමේවයිතෝ දින්නම් පේතානං උපකප්පති ඉච්ඡිතං පච්චිතං තුයං කිප්පමේව සමිජ්ජතු සම්බේ පුරන්තු චිත්ත සංකප්ප Vando panna raso yata manidoti raso yata. මේ වෙලාවේ අපේ විහාරස්ථානයේ කොණ්ඩඤ්ඤාණන් වහන්සේ විහාරස්ථානයේ වැඩ සිටින්නේ නැහැ උන්වහන්සේ ගමනක් උත්සාහ දෙමින් ඉතින් උන්වහන්සේ වෙනුවන විහාරස්ථ දායක පිරිස වෙනුවෙන් අපි මේ වෙලාවේ කනගාටු ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා එමනම් මහා සංඝරත්නය වෙනුවෙන් සිද්ධ කරන ආගම වතාවත් මේ හිඳිනාවක් වටිනවා අනිත් ඒ ටික නම් පත් මේ ටික නම් පත් එකේ මේකව ගන්නට බලන්න.
හොඳයි. තලයකට හලන්නේ එලි තල තියෙනවනේ ඒක එතන මෙහෙම තියෙනවා.
Excuse me, everyone. At this time, we'd like to open up the floor to anyone who would like to share some memories about Geetha. If you could, please come to the front of the room and share. Your message will be videotaped and will be able to be given to the family back in Sri Lanka. So, and then at 11 o'clock, we'll proceed out to the crematorium. Anyone who wants to follow us is welcome to. It's in New Jersey. And then following that, we'll be meeting back at 54 Beeman Avenue for meal, traditional Sri Lankan meal. So the floor is open.
I used to tell her mom that she said, you got a big son. Okay. So much. 25 years ago.
අපි එකට වැඩ කරන්නේ.
ड्रग्स करी माई रंजनी वेदिन में
Whatever. Well, I mean, are you going to New Jersey or like wherever you're going?
අර බෝල්ලෙන්න කිව්වේ අර ඔයාව මේ ඩ්‍රොප් කරපු බෝල්ස්ලා දෙන්න ඉන්නවද? මේ මෙතන ගෙදර එයාට කෝල් කරලා කියනකොට ඒක ඉතාලි දෙවියන් එයාගේ පුතාට කියන්නේ දන්නවා පුතා මට ඔයාව පික් කරේ
මම බලන්න පොඩක් නෑ
නෑ නම්බර්
She used to.
You have the number?
Nilma. Hey.
Excuse me, folks. Can I...
And then whoever wants to go out into the cars can go out, and then we can proceed to the
Thank you.
Hello.
It's an hour and an hour and 20 minutes to go.
But you don't know how because of the
Sorry. Thank you.
Devi, you better spare a little bit of time to talk to me for 10 minutes, okay? Yes. At home. I have the whole day and then I go to the hotel. We have booked a hotel near the airport, the Ramada. And we stay.
Dragonfly. Ada main tissue box dekat sana ada.
That's the hardest thing, right? That's the hardest thing to do. I see you. We'll talk with this thing.
Sorry. I miss it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what number.